virtue of the powers conferred upon me as acting Chancellor of the University of Zululand, I hereby consecute this congregation for the conferment of degrees and awarding of diplomas and certificates. You may be seated. The motto of the sector remains that of saving lives and academic project. It is with this in mind and respecting the sanctity of life that the proceedings of the graduation have been altered to ensure that we remain compliant with the protocols to address the pandemic. Graduates, you are expected to have worn your hoods as you approach the stage. I thank you.
Acting Chancellor of the University of Zululand, Professor Mtose, Chairperson of Council of the University, Mr. Kaluza, members of University Council, members of Executive and Management Committees, all the faculties, of the deans of the faculties, representatives from the Gwamkwanazi Traditional Authority, chiefs of the local traditional authorities, dignitaries and honored guests, academic and support staff, and students of the university. Ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, our graduandi. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this important event in the almanac of the university. The significance of today's achievement is a mark of perseverance against the formidable odds. This starts with schooling. Research shows that learners who make it to higher education represent about 50% of the cohort that started in grade 1. Let me put it sharply by way of an example. Of the 1.4 million children who enrolled in grade 1 in 1998, only 552,000 made it to matric in 2009. This means close to 1 million children are swallowed in this big dark hole every year. Of this, a fraction make it to tertiary. According to Higher Education South Africa, under 1/3 or under 33.3% of students complete their studies in regulation time. Our graduation rate of 15% is among the lowest in the world. These statistics are shocking, but they underscore the fact that yours is no mean achievement. You represent a very small minority of the elite and privileged in your society. Today's graduations are significant as they come at a time when the country and the whole world are grappling with the onset of the devastating COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic has had disastrous effects on teaching and learning. You succeeded, despite having to contend with odds of having to study remotely, disconnected from the lecturers and your fellow students, and you still prevailed. But I want to cast your achievement differently, to speak about your graduation as the beginning of an obligation. Many of you here are beneficiaries of some form of scholarship or another. Many of you, if not all of you here, succeeded because of the efforts of your parents, siblings, teachers, neighbors, friends, sponsors that believed in you. They took a chance with you. We are grateful that you did not disappoint. As a beneficiary of the kindness of others, expectations are that you will do the same. It is the only way that we can make this world a better place. It is by being generous with our time and service. In doing so, we will be responding to the call best captured by the former President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, when he declared, "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." In these perilous and difficult times, when all about seems to collapse, we have an obligation to keep hope alive and to give hope a chance. This graduation, taking place in the grip of the devastating epidemic, is on its own an expression of that hope. We have lived through it by being responsible, adhering to the medical protocols that were crafted for our benefit. We cannot afford to take that lightly. We need to keep reminding ourselves that we were the lucky ones. For the grace of God, we were spared. We thus cannot afford the luxury of being disconnected with the great social upheaval of our times. We who are children of the poor cannot and should not shy away from responding to the needs of the still marginalized in our communities. We need to see the patterns and linkages between diseases and poverty, the relationship between social justice and life expectancy, and how the battle is about dignity and human rights, as Larry Brilliant would put it. It is worth stating that service is at the center of our strategic plan, which seeks, among other things, to transform our university into an institution which in the first instance serves the need of the African constituency and intellectually wears the vestment of its social environment. It's an institution which responds to the needs of the society in which it is located and helps to transform for the better the lives of the people in whose preoccupation and location it is embedded. I would be remiss if I do not commend faculties and supervisors for sustaining the project of knowledge creation. This year, we have 48 doctoral candidates, 24 from the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, 7 from faculties of Science, Agriculture, and Engineering, 14 from Faculty of Education, and 3 from the Faculty of Commerce, Administration, and Law. The faculties have outdone themselves. Shall we please give them a round of applause for this hard work? As we prepare ourselves for a life of service, let us be inspired by the words of Martin Luther King, Jr. King had this to say: "If it falls to your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the host of heavens and earth will have pause and say, 'Here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well.'" Thank you very much and congratulations. Now, it is my honor to present the guest speaker of the session. I will read the biography, Dr. Simphiwe Buthelezi. Dr. Simphiwe Buthelezi has a PhD degree in microbial biotechnology, obtained at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. She is passionate about women empowerment and dedicates her life in making a difference in other people's lives. She is involved in various community programs and initiatives that assist those that are less fortunate. Dr. Buthelezi advocates for women's rights, and protection of children through her research work. She has published her work on peer-reviewed journals and has presented her research findings on numerous local and international conferences. Dr. Buthelezi has vast experience in both public and private sector. She has worked at the South African Sugar Association for 6 years as a resource manager. Her position entailed financial management and providing strategic leadership. Dr. Buthelezi has 10 years of experience in lecturing, training and development, strategic leadership, and curriculum development. She lectured at the University of KwaZulu-Natal for 7 years. She has supervised, co-supervised, and mentored undergraduate and postgraduate students. She is currently working as a head of research and development at Moses Kotane Institute, which is an entity of the Department of Economic Development, Tourism, and Environmental Affairs. Dr. Buthelezi's role at the Institute involves providing strategic leadership in terms of sector-based research and development. Her current research focus include addressing gender-based violence as well as inequality. She has been with the Institute for 4 years. So I present Dr. Buthelezi.
Thank you, Chairperson, for that introduction. Program Director, Acting Vice Chancellor, Deans, Heads of Schools, academics, supporting staff, parents and guardians, as well as graduates, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is an honor and a privilege for me to be standing in front of you today to deliver a keynote address for this glorious occasion where we celebrate our graduates' hard work, discipline, tenacity, and also not giving up. Give yourself a round of applause. It is always heartwarming to celebrate success and excellence, especially Black excellence. Looking at this house or looking at this theater, it brings me so much pride to see so many Black faces that have made it this far. It is by no means at all that we take for granted the amount of work that you guys have pulled through, the sleepless nights, and also some of you has to do with so little in terms of not even having something decent to eat. That is testament to your belief and passion in terms of ensuring that you make it in life. I'll start my talk with a little bit of a personal journey in terms of how I became Dr. Simpiwe Buthelezi. It was back in 2005 when my colleagues and I, classmates and I, were graduating for our junior degree. As it is a norm, we all went out to hire graduation gowns. Some opted to buy those graduation gowns. As my best friend and I, Dr. Maya Makitini, we proceeded to go and hire graduation gowns. A group of ladies that was standing behind us started laughing. What a peculiar thing to do. We didn't understand why they were laughing so hard. So one of them said to me, why are you hiring a gown instead of buying a gown like everybody else? And then they burst out laughing. They laughed so hard that we started feeling embarrassed. I mean, it is no fun being ridiculed or made fun of or made a laughing stock in front of your classmates and your peers. My friend and I, we turned around, we looked at them, like I'm looking at Prof right now. We said, we are not buying black graduation gowns because we're planning on buying red gowns for when we graduate for our PhDs. Needless to say, the laughter continued. They laughed so facetiously that it shattered our hearts. We were heartbroken because to us, what we said made sense, but to them, it didn't make sense at all. So, I am reminded of Dr. Nelson Mandela's quote, where he said, "Education is a great engine of personal development. It is through education that a daughter of a peasant is a nobody, that a daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that a son of mine workers can become the head of the mines, and that a child of farm workers can become a president of this great nation." The reason, thank you. Some of you might be wondering why they were laughing so hard. Did it not make sense that we actually planned to pursue our studies to PhD? They laughed so hard because, to them, the idea of us furthering our studies to PhD, as poor as we were, didn't even make sense. It seemed impossible. They thought we were absurd, considering that we didn't have money. This is before the bursaries started coming in. I'm sure the graduates in this room can attest to what I'm talking about. But to us, it was a dream that we were willing to put blood, sweat, and tears to realize. At the age of 25, my best friend and I, Dr. Maya Makatini, we graduated with our PhD degrees, top of our class and with publications. Needless to say, we wore those red gowns with so much pride because they said we couldn't do it, but we did. We proved them wrong. Just like each and every graduate sitting in front of you today or sitting before us today can attest that some of you thought you would fail. Some of you thought you will never make it, but you made it against all odds. For that, give yourself a round of applause. So the reason why I'm sharing this story with you graduates today is simply because I want to emphasize one thing. It is okay to dream big dreams. It is okay to dream big dreams, as absurd or as crazy or as dubious as they might be. No one needs to understand your dream except you. It doesn't even have to make sense, but as long as it makes sense to you, that is more than enough. And also, what I want to emphasize is this. By you being here indicates that there is something in you that cannot be contained. So dream a dream so big that it literally wakes you up in the middle of the night because you just can't sleep until the dream is fulfilled. We all know that organization, businesses, even University of Zululand, or any other institution for that matter, they all have one thing in common. They have a vision of what they aspire to achieve 2, 5, 10 years from now. The question I would like to ask is, why can't we do that for our own personal lives? Why we don't have a vision in terms of what is it that I want to attain or what is it that I want to achieve a couple of years from now? It is important that we have a vision because that acts as a roadmap in terms of determining our course of action. It indicates what we need to do today for us to end where we want to be, or for us to achieve our own goals. Moreover, I would like to encourage all the graduates here to go back to your communities. We all know that as a country, we're facing numerous challenges, including unemployment, poverty, inequality, energy, as well as water crisis. Go back to your communities, identify all these challenges, and come up with innovative solutions in terms of how these challenges or social ills can be addressed. You already have made it this far. The fact that you are graduating today, it means that you think differently than anyone else. You also have a vast knowledge in terms of having access to information at the tip of your hands. So why are we not using that information to better ourselves and also to create employment for ourselves? That's a challenge I want to leave with you today. It is important also, graduates, that we understand or we manage our expectation in terms of employment in this country. We know that majority of the people are unemployed, even other graduates in the same position as you. So what is it that you're going to do differently to ensure that you don't end up being a statistics yourself? We know that the fundamental key in addressing unemployment challenges in this country, it lies in entrepreneurship. Yet we seem to shy away from even drafting a business plan or a business idea. Just maybe to bring it a little bit home so that you understand that I'm not just talking hearsay. At MKI, which is the Moses Kotane Institute, we conducted research with my team looking at graduate unemployment, underlying graduate unemployment. We interviewed over 1,800 graduates to ascertain what are some of the challenges that they face in terms of trying to secure employment. What was first shocking for me as a woman, and a woman that likes to advocate for other women to be leaders and for us to support one another and mentor each other, was the fact that 70% of the respondents were female. Only 30% were male. Of course, they indicated, Dr. Buthelezi, we're struggling because there are not enough jobs. We don't have experience. When we apply, we are told that we are overqualified. And also there's a mismatch in terms of what is required by our market. This is what our graduates have. Don't have the necessary skills for them to be able to be employable. You get a PhD, you are an intimidation before they even see you. Before you even come for an interview, already people have preconceived ideas about you. That's how difficult it is out there. But there's a glimmer of hope. It's not all dull and gloom. Combine all of these challenges that I've mentioned with the advent of technology, automation, fourth, fifth industrial revolution, Internet of Things, and so forth. We all understand that the manner in which we do our business has drastically changed. As the chairperson has alluded, that some of you had to study virtually. Research indicates that over 40% of current jobs that exist now will not exist 5-10 years from now. They'll be replaced by automation, they'll be replaced by robotics and so forth. That is equivalent to over 5 million jobs. So where do we fall under this big spectrum? That is why I would like us graduates not to get complacent. That you've achieved your degree today does not mean that this is where it ends. You need to focus on constantly improving yourself and focus on ensuring that just like you upgrade your cell phone every 2 years or every year, even the information that you've acquired, you need to constantly upgrade. Moreover, we need to ensure that there is collaboration, which is the key, collaboration between industry as well as academia, so that we can start developing graduates that are fit for purpose. Graduates that are skilled enough that they are able to stand on their 2 feet and make it in life. I would like each and every one of you to go back home as you celebrate today. Go back home and think, what is it that I'm going to do differently to make sure that I'm a job creator and not a job seeker? Prof, I'll mention this. One of the biggest disfavors or loopholes in our education system is that we train our graduates to be job seekers rather than job creators. I think that is where we get it wrong, and we need to start now fixing it, so that when they start, they know that no one is going to employ them. You are going to employ yourself. Does it make sense? Does it make sense, graduates? I'm not talking to myself now. Does it make sense that you need to start thinking differently for you to be able to be a job creator rather than a job seeker? Chairperson, in conclusion, I don't want to take the limelight from these beautiful beings sitting before us. It is important, ladies and gentlemen, that we start today visualizing our best self. Wake up each and every day and say to yourself, what is it that I can do today to make myself better than yesterday? What is it that I need to do to make sure that I succeed in whatever that I set my mind to? By you thinking differently, you'll start to see a shift in terms of what you want to do and what you want to achieve. Today is a perfect day to work on that business idea. Today is a perfect day for you to work on that business plan. Today is a perfect day for you to start thinking differently about the social ills in your community. You were all made for greatness. My mother used to tell us every day, you were created for greatness. And we didn't understand what Mama means if she says we are created for greatness. She said the only difference is, are you willing to work that extra hard to attain that greatness? If you don't go for what you want, guaranteed, you'll never have it. It is always better to try and fail at something 1,000 times than you not trying anything at all. After all, graduates, after all, you are the captain of your own ship. You are a pilot of your own plane. You are a conductor of your own symphony. Definitely, you are an artist of your own life. So whatever happens, no matter the challenges, because there will be challenges, don't you dare even consider handing that paintbrush to anyone else. Hold it like a champ that you are and continue drawing your own master art. Your best is yet to come. I will end with a quotation by Mary Ann Williamson. She said, our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? The question we should be asking ourselves is, who are we not to be? With that, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abtulezi. That was very motivating. I hope our graduates got the message that we are masters of our own lives. Think about that. We now are going to proceed with conferring degrees and award diplomas and certificates. I request the candidates to take up their positions. I shall then call the Dean of the faculty to present the candidates for various degrees and diplomas.
I confer the degrees and award diplomas and certificates to candidates whose names appear on the program as requested.
Acting Chancellor, I now have the honor to request the Dean of the Faculty of Commerce, Administration and Law to present the graduates to you.
Acting Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you postgraduate degree candidates in FCAL.
By virtue of the power vested in me, I confer the postgraduate degrees to candidates whose names appear on the program.
Doctor of Laws.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Laws to candidates whose names appear on the program.
Sicelo Walter Sibia. The title of the dissertation is The Application of Derivative and Team Misconduct, investigating the need to invoke the right to remain silent and presumption of innocence in South African employment law. This study has been done under the supervision of Dr. Lizelle Calfino and co-supervisor Professor Dezen Iron. I'm now asking the supervisor to read the citation.
Thank you, Professor Greyling. The study revolved around the need to invoke the right to remain silent and the presumption of innocence in South African employment law, especially in cases of derivative and team misconduct. The aim of this study was to establish whether there was a need to extend the right to remain silent to the realm of employment law. The study found that the duty to speak or the disclosure of information relating to misconduct should be qualified to safeguard the employee's interests. In addition, the study concluded that codification of principles enunciated by South African courts was necessary to provide proper guidance to employers as well as to South African Labour Dispute Resolution Forum as far as the application of derivative and team misconduct is concerned. The study will contribute greatly to the area of labour law, in that a draft policy framework for a code of good practice on derivative and team misconduct has been finalized. In terms of the study, and it is hoped that the code would be adopted into the labour law legislative framework going forward.
Dr. Sibia. Dr. Sibia. Congratulations.
Vice-Chancellor, Doctor of Public Administration.
I confer the degree of Doctor of Public Administration on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Tabisile Luyanda Machali. The title of the dissertation is The Place of Fourth Industrial Revolution in Small-Scale Farming at Kwadlangeswa, KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. This study has been done under supervision of Professor Gilly and co-supervisor Professor NBW Melitwa. I'm asking the supervisor to introduce the research of the candidate.
Okay, thank you, Prof. The National and Provincial Department of Agriculture of the South African government made concerted efforts after 1994 to implement policies and programs targeted at making the country's agricultural industry stronger and more robust. Increased equity among farmers, as well as access to land, modern technologies, and other inputs was critical for this strategy. Hence, the researcher investigated the implications of 4IR and small-scale farmer development in Kwadlangeswa using the theoretical framework of classical political economy and capacity approach theories. Traditional leaders, commercial farmers, as well as small-scale farmers, the manager of Felixton Mill, as well as lecturers at Owen College Sithole, and community members were interviewed using qualitative techniques. 24 in-depth interviews were conducted. The study further conducted 4 telephone interviews with the Department of Agriculture officials, University of Zululand lecturers in the Department of Agriculture, Agriculture Research Council. The study adds to knowledge to analytical value of capacity approach and 4IR technologies, adoption of small-scale farmers under 5 category, which is economics, political, social aspects, as well as institutional and governance. Through 3 interconnected sets of technologies, namely automation, additive manufacturing, and the industrial internet, the 4th industrial revolution is having an impact on South Africa's industrialization possibilities. The ramifications of the 4IR were examined in this research, including the potential and challenges that the 4IR possess for the small-scale farmers in Kwadlangeswa. The study finding revealed that in order for small-scale farmers in Kwadlangeswa to benefit from 4IR agricultural instruments, they must enhance their entrepreneurship skills, education, land issues, market value chain, and finance scheme policies. In South Africa, small-scale farmers have been identified as a vehicle for achieving poverty reduction and rural development goals. To realize this potential, it is necessary to comprehend the diversity of small-scale farmers in order to create effective policy intervention. One paper is already published in accredited journal from this thesis. Thank you very much.
Dr. Mtali. Congratulations, Dr. Mtali.
Read the title, just the title as well. Yes. Vice Chancellor, Master of Public Administration.
I confer the degree of Master of Administration on candidates who appear on the program.
I'm going to ask Dr. Tulane Matadi from the Department of Law to read the names.
Mayenzeke Tia, Sandra Talente Ngomezulu. Lindokutle Mkobi Sibia. Well done. Kosinati Tembikosi Sitole.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, Chili. Chili? Vice Chancellor, Master of, sorry? Vice, Acting Chancellor. See, I'm always used to Vice Chancellor. Acting Chancellor, Master of Public Administration.
I confer the degree of Master of Public Administration on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Simpiwe Siyabonga Mabunda. Samgelisiwe Manyoni. Hi, Mandisi Manyana. Mandisi Manyana. Kenneth Sfundo Mdluli. Thembelihle Mpungose. Nokuthula Ntuli. Unathi Rose Sishawu. Refugee Mzwandile Xaba. Tholani Nomvuselelo Zondo. Lungisani Sibongiseni Sigwaza.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Public Administration Honours.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Public Administration Honors on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Thank you. Prof. Chili will read the names.
Zoleka Lwandiso Dlamini. Sibonga Inkosi Menzi Khathwane. Sinethemba lethukuthula Mahlinza. Bonisiwe Babongile Mathonsi. Daniel Tembelane Mhlongo. Nokolo Thandeka Mkhize. Samantha Nondumiso Mngadi. Joyce Thokozile Mthembu. Penelope Sindisiwe Mthethwa. Rose Spesihle Ngazi. Bonginkosi Magalela Simelane. Nud Kishore Rajesh Singh, degree awarded with distinction.
Acting Chancellor, I request you to confer the degrees and award diplomas and certificates to the candidates who have qualified for these awards, as well as those persons in absentia whose names appear in the program.
I confer the degrees and award certificates, diplomas and certificates on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Come. Come and tell it. Acting Chancellor, Bachelors of Laws.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Laws on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Sihloniphile Precious Bebe. You're supposed to stand there. Please. You can go and stand there. Tandazile Posha Biela. Well done. Minentle Wanda Butelezi. Well done. Nosipo Tandeka Butelezi. Thank you. Zandile Butelezi. Well done. Nompilo Kele. Well done. Samkeli Siwe Revival Kele. Well done. Kosinati Duduzi Danis. can stand that side. Kubeko Tabiso Dladla. Well done. Fezeka Dlamini. Well done. Kolani Zitozonke Dlamini. Well done. Sinetlantla Precious Dontrabe. Okay. Mabonti Lindokutle Dubazani. Well done. Ngobi Dube. Well done. Snesipo Duma. Sinovuyo Faku. Well done. Andile Dalisu Fakude. Well done. Kheliwe Gloria Kabela. Tando Snoto Kabela. Well done. Siabonga Tabani Gama. Well done. Zanele Leta Gamede. Well done. Stands there. Nondumiso Gumbi. Well done. Nomzamo Nontobeko Gumede. Well done. Zamachali Dumolutle Tesha Shlabangani. Well done. Stand there. Mtutuko Bongani Katiana. Well done. Tepo Konyane. Well done. Wendy Koso. Andile Preti Kumalo. Well done. I know. Butle Bezwe Posha Kumalo. Mhlengi Sitle Kubeka. Kholile Kunene. Well done. Thank Slindile Rose Ann Lembete. Here. Well done. Mlungisi, praise God, Lukele. Well done. Zamatungwa, Nombuso, Mabaso. Well done. Lindo Kutle, Zweletu, Mabizela. Well done. Can I have a paper, please? Thank you. Tembani, Promise, Mabunda. Well done. Pumlani, Mabuyakulu. Well done. Machava. Nonsikelelo, Queen Mashava. Thank you. Hlengiwe, Ningi Andile, Mahlobo. Well done. Londiwe, Nokwazi, Majozi. Well done. Stembiso, Makoba. Mako. Nontokozo, Pumzile, Manqele. Well done. Stand there. Ayanda, Mandisa, Mapanga. Well done. Mfanu Muhle, Pilasandi, Mapumulo. Well done. Okay. Luetu, Zombuso, Tandile, Masugu. Well done. Sanele Vuyo, Mazibuko. Okay. Well done. Notando Revival, Mbata. Well done. Sipokazi, Mbele. Samkelisiwe, Trina, Bleche. Well done, my boy. Siyasanda Sanele, Mfeka. Well done. Nokubonga, Stembile, Promise, Mhlongo. Okay, well done. Come stand here, yeah. You stand that side. Nondumiso, Londeka, Mia. Well done. Klaganipo, Mkwanazi. Siyabonga Mkwanazi. Njabulo Mhlaba. Mhlaba. Well done. You stand there. Duduzile Pearl Mlungwana. Well done. Malusi Ngwabe. Well done. Mfundo Cyril Molloy. Well done. Sinenkosi Justice Mpanza. Well done. Jabulani Mtetwa. Well done. Busisiwe Mtembu. Well done. Keliwe Mtembu. Well done. Lungile Mtetwa. Well done. Ntombi Zoto Fanele Mtetwa. Well done. Nolutando Precious Pearl Mtimkulu. Well done. Pass this side. Sifiso Pontoli Mchali. Well done. Tembelani Mchali. May I have this paper, please? Thank you. Piwa Inkosi Spepelo Perfect Mudau. Well done. Sapo Mvelasi. Well done. Simamisa Sinaye Sianda Kanana. How are you? I'm fine. Okay, thanks. Distinction or merit? Distinction. Wanda Ndlovu with distinction. Well done. Mali Lusanele Ndwandwe distinction. Sabelo Canisius Kebo Nzaba. Well done. Wandile Spepelo Nene. Well done. Nondumiso Tani Ngobo. Snenhlanhla Sitabile Ngobo. Well done. Notando Udi Ngema. Well done. Okay. Dalisu Sifezile Ngubane. Well done. Mfana Futi Michael Ngubane. Well done. Zama Bonvu Ngubane. Zamo Kwake Nicholas Ngubane. Well done. Yes, I'll do that. Mbali Nokolo Ngubelanga. Well done. Siabonga Nkabinde. Mtokozisi Colin Konyani. Well done. Minentle Posha Nkosi. Well done. Kolisile Fortunate Nkosi. Well done. Zomnoto Nomalungelo Nkosi. Well done. Buile Notando Ntaka. Well done. Lifa Ntanzi. Smile. Well done. Snetemba Snenhlanhla Nchali. Well done. Anele Mamsi Ntuli. Well done. Hlaganipo Fortune Ntuli. Well done. Nomdeni Nozipo Nyandeni. Well done. Stand there. Lungelo Pungula. Esitle Senene. Well done. Sibusiso Piwainkosi Shabalala. Well done. Xolisile Shozi. Well done. Ayanda Sinenhlanhla Brilliance Sibia. Well done. Kanisile Sibia. Well done. Nomvula Precious Sibia. Well done. Kulekani Sikosana. Well done. Okay, thanks. Woo. Talente Pilisi Bethwell Kaba. Well done. Sinetemba Kakaza. Well done. Tembelitle Smo Kulu. Well done. That's it. Zintle Sinenhlanhla Kulu. Siyabonga Gift Zikalala. Well done. Anele Rebecca Zikali with distinction. Well done. You must alone. What's this side? Mpilonhle Simpiwe Zikubu. Well done. You can turn this side. Kulekani Zita. Njabulo Zondi. Well done. Nompumelelo Sinetemba Zondo. Well done. Andile Zwane. Spelele Nontokozo Zwane.
Acting Chancellor, Bachelor of Public Administration.
I confer the degree of Bachelor of Public Administration on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Thank you.
Njabulo Sabatsini Biela. Raymond Tamsanga Blose. Ntombe Mhlophe Silindelo Cebekhulu. abo Ayanda Tamane, Sunshine Spesihle Chili, Sifiso Siposethu Ndonda, Isabel Fezeka Duma, Zinhle Kabashe, Zinhle Kabashe, Hlengiwe Florence Gumede, Bongani Siyabonga Gumede, Mnotho Nothando Hlabisa, Nqubeko Nkazimulo Hlatshwayo, Sibusiso Dumsani Hlatshwayo, Allegracy Kangela, Lebo Slindile Keswa, Sibusisiwe Studuzo Khoza, Lungile Gugu Khumalo, Nothando Xolisile Kubheka, Ayanda Nomalanga Mabaso, Sibahle Mabaso, Sithembile Zanele Mabiga, Nosipho Slindelo Madlala, Sibekezelo Anele Mafuleka, Spesihle Magubane, Siphamandla Talent Mahlangu, Sibahle Nokubekezela Manyoni, Lungelo Thokoza Manyoni, Ubusisiwe Ntobeko Matlena. Zurich Mpume Purit Matonsi. Nonhlakanipho Mazibuko. Ayanda Mbalenhle Mbatha. Felicia Zamakhonza Mbatha. Siyabonga Thamsanqa Mbamali. Ezile Mbele. Sindisiwe Sindiswa Mbuyazi. Hi sis, how are you? Fine. Nosipho Portia Mdletshe. Simphiwe Mdletshe. Zakhele Phila Ngenkosi Mdletshe. You look beautiful. Nandipha Olwethu Mdluli. Amanda Sithokozo Precious Mhlongo. Cebo lenkosi Knowledge Mhlongo. Ntobeko Nomcebo Mhlongo. Zandile Fezile Mkhize. Nomfundo Nompumelelo Mkhwanazi. Sembelani Daniel Mhlongo. Nompilo Nombuso Mkhwanazi. Zandile Gugu Mkhwanazi. Angel Nokukhanya Mncadi. Bongiwe Namile Mngomezulu. Kwenza Mngomezulu. Nelisiwe Amanda Pretty Mngomezulu. Nelisiwe Amanda Pretty Mnguni, sorry. Minenhle Pretty Msimangu. Ncamisile Faith Mthembu. Zamathembu Perseverance Mthembu. Cela ukuphila Rose Mthethwa. Londiwe Mthethwa. Nozipho Fortunate Mthethwa. Sifiso Eugenia Mthethwa. Siphelele Mthethwa. Ziphezinhle Mvelase. Mandisa Sandile Mvubu. Pamela Miende. Nolwazi Sindisiwe Myeni. Buhle Buzile Vuyani Ngapha. Congratulations. Justice Nselelo Ncube. Nonhlanhla Ncube. Hlengiwe Nokuthula Ndabezitha. Nokulunga Minenhle Ndawonde. Themba Mthunzi Ndlangamandla. Nwabisa Dlangisa. Sinothile Ndlovu. Zakhona Noxolo Ndlovu. Lungile Simphiwe Ndunakazi. Siphesihle Sithembiso Ndunakazi. Gloria Nelisiwe Nene. Aphiwe Ngcobo. Nofiso Goodness Ngcobo. Bongeka Mbali Ngubane. Gugulethu uzibuyisile Nkonyane. Sibusile Nondumiso Nkosi. Siqumama Nkosenhle Nkosi. Nothando Londiwe Ntsele. Nqobile Prithi Nsibande. Sibonga konke Nsibande. Lungiswa Ntakazana. Themba Sipho Sethu Ntimbane. Zinhle Beauty Ntshangase. Velile Nqobile Sithembile Ntuli. Nozipho Nkwanyana. Sinenhlanhla Happiness Nxumalo. Nonhlakanipho Nyawo. Sinqobile Nzuza. Zama nokubonga Nzuza. Bonisiwe Patricia Qwabe. Nokuthula Shabangu. Nobuhle Londiwe Shange. Nomthandazo Nombulelo Shiba. Sibusile Miriam Shongwe. Faith Noxolo Sibiya. Nelisiwe Goodness Sishi. Fikane Handsome Simpiwe Sithole. Zinhle Andile Sithole. Nkosi khona Bukisile Xaba. Hamilton Thembe Nkosini Xulu. Nokubonga Nomkhosi Xulu. Sindiswa samkelisiwe xulu. Samuel Bonginkosi Zondi. Sinenhlanhla Zandiswa Zondi. Fanele sibonge Zungu. Nikeziwe Zungu. Nontobeko Zungu. Phiwa inkosi Zungu. Khona zinhle Zwane.
May I have your attention, ladies and gentlemen? It's just information that there's a possibility of load shedding at 4. So there will be a small glitch, but then there's a backup generator to pick up. So in case you have to pause for a second. Bazale, just ukunazisa ukuthi ngo-4 kuzokwenzeka sibe ne-load shedding, but kuzoba nje imzuzu embalwa bese siyaqala futhi. Ngiyabonga.
Acting Chancellor, Diploma in Logistics Management.
I award the Diploma in Logistics and Management on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Professor Marigalba will read.
James Dean Pilich. Yenziwe Biela. Zibuyisile Thembelihle Cebekhulu. Nontsikelelo Samantha Cele. Malusi Chiliza. Nonsindiso Rachel Dixon. Mlungisi Themba Dlamini. Mxolisi Sabelo Dlamini. Njabulo Mfundo Sizwe Gumede. Xolani Philani Khumalo. Simphiwe Mabaso. Nzolo Imran Mangaliso Makaula. Silindelo kwenza kwakhe Malengwana. Masale Mada Mameja. Mauthanda Sibukile Mathaba.
Nzuzo Thobelani Mbatha. Nkululeko Freedom Mpele. Sicelo Ayanda Mkhumbuzi. Mnotho Thula Sizwe Mkhwanazi. Mxolisi Sinakho Konke Mkhwanazi. Minenhle Andile Mngadi. Thembeka Molefe. Siphelele fanele sibonge Msomi. Smiso Lawrence Ndlovu. Thobeka Portia Ngobese. Minenhle Mbalenhle Nkosi. Lindani Ndinga.
In the blocks now.
Kethukuthula Prithi Nyawo. Spesihle Phiri. Thulani Siphamandla Shabalala. Nokwanda Ignatius Thole. Vusmuzi Sithole. Melusi Cela Impilo Xulu. Ayanda Portia Zulu. Neziwe Portia Zulu. Ntombenhle Phumelele Zulu. Nomonde Xulu.
Acting Chancellor, Diploma in Management of Co-operatives.
I award the diploma on cooperative, diploma in management cooperatives on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Thank you.
Ayanda Nothando Podoza. Khayelihle Inathi Biyela. Sinethemba Jali. Samgelisiwe Fortunate Khoza. Thandeka Khuboni. Nondumiso Makhunga. Zandile Mbatha. Sikhona ngaye siphiwe okuhle ntando Mbuyazi. Silindile noNjabulo Mdamba. Silindile Msimango. Sinethemba Mvubu. Neliswa Mkhize. Muzi Wandile Manqoba Mshengu. Vuyiswa Pearl Mthembu. Sibonelo Sicelo Sangweni. Nothando Princess Zondi.
Acting Chancellor, Diploma in Transport Management.
I award the Diploma in Transport Management on candidates whose names appear on the program.
Thank you.
Sfiso Wiseman Buthelezi. The diploma is awarded with a distinction. Sfiso Bhekisgcino Dlodlo. Lindelani Sibekezelo Hlatshwayo. Zodumo Sithembisile Khumalo. Nhlanhla Linda Mafuleka. Ayanda Magnificent Makubane.
Please sit on it, I'll just read it again because I didn't read. Okay,
Ayanda Magnificent Makubane. Jabulile Ntombi Zodwa Makudulela. Velemseni Enoch Magwanyana. Ayanda Patricia Majola. Nontando Ayanda Majola. Nosipho Senamile Manqele. Sinenhlanhla Bongiwe Manukuza. Mbongeni Sibusiso Mathenjwa. Amanda Nokwanda Mazibuko. Ayanda Emmanuel Mbuyazi. Nomthandazo Mbuyisa. Nothando Mdletshe. Spesihle Mkhize, the diploma is awarded with a distinction. Khayelihle Mngomezulu. Vamumusa Nkosi Sikhumbule Mnguni. Thandiwe Pretty Mpanza. Nompilo Pamela Mpungose. Mlungisi Ndaba. Nkokhelo Raymond Ngcobo. Spamandla Prince Ngubane. Phindile Nomcebo Ngwane. Nhlakanipho Mvuselele Nhleko. Sikhumbuzo Nxumalo. Khulekani Marvin Shandu. Mondli Luyanda Sithathu. Thabile Thabethe. Lungile Brightness Zondi. Xolisani Zulu. Zibuyile Phindile Zulu. Zwakele Deborah Zulu.
Yeah, first,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Back to your seats, please. Back to your seats. Let's finish this day.
Acting Chancellor, I think we can call the alumni now to go back to their seats. Acting Chancellor, there's one more award that we would like to make, and that is every student in FCAL is a performer, is a top performer, but all in all, we look at the results, and there's in this group one really top performer that the Vice Chancellor would like to award for this exceptional hard work for 3 years. This is a candidate in the Diploma in Transport Management. And the candidate is Sepesihle Mikizi. Please come to the stage. Mikizi, I can say that. This poor students would not have known they graduated at all. Please, yeah. Yes, yes.
I hope he's studying. Is he studying? I don't know. I'm going to ask him. Well done, Mfana. Eh? Well done. You register.
Acting Chancellor ex Mtose, Chairperson of Council Ms. Kaluza, DVCs, Dean of Students, our guests today, the graduates Osingabo, the university personnel, nabazali abafikile ukuzosupporta namhlanje. Receive my heartfelt greetings. Today we meet to celebrate a journey of a black child. A journey who has been flawed by challenges emanating from a poor background. We meet today to celebrate a victory of the downtrodden, dehumanized and degraded. Today we join hands with the young people from the dusty streets of our country to celebrate this enormous victory. We rejoice because it has not been easy for us as young black children. Growing up in a society characterized by anti-education stereotypes, anti-intellectual mobs, and triple challenges, drug abuse, and many other challenges engulfing young people in our country. Young people, we must not end here, but we must challenge ourselves to take the fight against the high rate of unemployment, because we believe it is us, young, educated people, who have the responsibility to take this country forward. That is why Frantz Fanon, open and close quote, said, "Each generation must out of relative obscurity discover its mission, fulfill it or betray it. It's up to us to whether we betray or we fulfill our mission." Special congratulations to graduates of the Faculty of Commerce, Administration and Law. You have made it. It's time to celebrate all the hard work that led to this joyful occasion. The road to graduation is long, it's a steep climb, so to take a moment to the summit and be proud of your achievements. And for that, I'm very honored to be representing the SRC and to be here with you in celebrating this august occasion. Allow me to further convey my heartfelt congratulations and gratitude to all our parents who today took their time and came to support us with their prayer, with the belief that they have shown to us throughout our journey in pursuit of these qualifications conferred to us today. And for that, thank you.
Acting Chancellor, Professor Mtose, Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Kunene, UniZulu Management, Academic and Support Staff, President of Convocation and Alumni, representatives of Mkwanazi Traditional Authority, SRC representatives, President and SG, guest speaker, Dr. Buthelezi, parents, guardians, relatives, sponsors, and the most important people in this occasion, the graduates, you are all greeted. Allow me to commence with the famous words of Dr. Mandela as he united the people of the world, reminding them about the importance of education. As he says, open and close quote, education is the most important weapon which you can use to change the world. Today, as you graduated, I remind you that a graduation signifies many things. It indicates progress, growth, and transformation. Therefore, I'm honored to share this momentous occasion with you. This graduation is a validation of your hard work and dedication through the global pandemic that has affected all of us. Congratulations. Your graduation has placed you in good stead to navigate through the challenges of life. Stay focused on your goals, otherwise the time, the effort, and money spent towards this achievement will be wasted. Your journey as a student may come to an end today and with this graduation, but you must never stop learning, for your success should be a springboard to greater success. Ngalesi sikhathi ngivumeleni ukuthi ngidlulise amazwi okubonga kubo bonke abantu ababeyingxenye yokuthi lolu suku lube impumelelo. Phakathi kwabo singabala management ye-university, vice chancellor, masekela akhe, office lika registrar, communication and marketing division, abezokuphepha be-university, information and communication technology division, Physical Planning and Operations Department, basebenzi bale university ngaso sonke isikhathi abenza isiqiniseko sokuthi izihambeli zethu nathi sonke uma ngaba sifika i-university ihlanzekile nayo le BZ ihlanzekile ikwazi ukwamukela umcimbi ofana nalo. Siyabonga kakhulu kubona. SRC ye-university, ama-students wonke, abazali, nabo bonke abantu abadlale inxaxheba enkulu ekuthini labantwana abaphambi kwethu namhlanje bakwazi uba namhlanje bagqoke izidanga zabo kuyimpumelelo enkulu. Siyazi ukuthi ngaphandle kwenu nesupport enibanikeze yona bebengeke bakwazi ukufika kule ndawo abafikelele kuyo. Siyabonga kakhulu Sister Mkhwanazi ukuqinisekisa ukuthi siphephile ngaphakathi ngokwezempilo. Congratulations again, class of 2021. Ngiyabonga.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby declare this graduation ceremony officially closed. On behalf of the congregation, I would like to thank you for your presence in this ceremony.